War of the Worlds was directed by Steven Spielberg and stars Tom Cruise. Welcome back to my Tom Cruise series, a very brief series. Jack Reacher, Never Go Back is coming out very soon. I thought it'd be fun to talk about The Last Samurai because that was also directed by Edward Zwick, as well as the upcoming Jack Reacher film, so it seemed like a perfect thing to do. And I thought, hey, why not build up my catalog of reviews and talk about one more Tom Cruise film that doesn't get talked about as much anymore. It's one of Spielberg's lesser films. It's definitely not one of his best films, but I don't consider it one of his worst either. It has some great things in it, and it has some terrible things in it. Let's talk about both. And if you've never seen War of the Worlds, this review is going to contain some spoilers. You've been warned. I saw War of the Worlds back in the day twice when it was in theaters. I saw it with a group of my friends and their dad, and then I took my mom to see it the very same weekend. It was a very good theater movie. In fact, watching it today at home on my surround sound with my TV, it was a very good Blu-ray. This is a fantastic looking movie and a fantastic sounding movie. Everything about this movie technically is the pinnacle of what movies can do. In regards to pure entertainment, the way it sounds, the way it looks, War of the Worlds is fantastic. Something that Spielberg did in the early 2000s with movies like Minority Report, which was his first collaboration with Cruise, and I think one of his best and most underrated films, as well as in War of the Worlds, is have really overblown whites. The white levels in this movie are insane. They're overblown to shit, and sometimes it can be a little distracting, but I think what he was going for was sort of a more retro appealing look, and I guess it works, and you sort of get used to it after a while, but for those first few scenes, I'm like, oh my god, are they standing in the limbo from the Harry Potter universe? Like, where the hell are they? Something that Spielberg has had for his entire career is an awe-inspiring sense of spectacle, and that's something that he captured amazing in the first two acts of War of the Worlds. The first act in particular of this movie is like A+ material. It's so exciting and fun, and something that I really do love about this movie is that, similar to another alien invasion film, Signs, all of the action that you might experience, all of the alien invasion stuff, is only ever seen when our characters are there to witness it. It doesn't cut away to other countries. We only experience this invasion through this family's perspective. And that's something that really is unique to this type of genre and made this film special. And like I said, the first act especially is basically flawless. I have no problems with it. It's so exciting. There's a fantastic van scene on the highway that's done in one take that's really fun. Spielberg's sense of awe-inspiring spectacle does not waver for the first half of this movie. I also really like the relationship between Tom Cruise as the father character, Ray Ferrier, and his kids, played by Dakota Fanning and Justin Chatwin. Their mother's going away and he has to watch them for a while. Nobody's happy about this, but shit goes down and now they have to learn how to be a family. And that's one of the stronger aspects of this movie, is the family dynamic, because it's fun to watch these characters learn how to work with one another. And can I just say that Justin Chatwin has Dragon Ball toys on his shelf? He has a Krillin and an Emperor Pilaf. And since, you know, Dragon Ball Evolution is my favorite movie of all time, I just thought I'd mention that. So those first two acts, really good stuff, really fun movie, and then something happens. It's almost like along the way, either David Koepp, the writer, or Steven Spielberg, the director, just decided, we want to get rid of the Robbie character. Let's just have him grow this obsession with joining the military. And for whatever reason, Robbie really wants to climb this hill and observe a war going on with the aliens. And Cruise just kind of has to let him because Dakota Fanning is getting taken away by somebody. It just doesn't make any sense. It's almost like they were going for a metaphor of having to eventually leave your children behind, or having to eventually accept the fact that they've grown up and let them leave the house or something. But it was done in the most strange way, and if that's really what they were going for, then I really don't get it, because it was out of left field. And if that's not what they were going for, and it's meant to be totally literal, that Justin Chatwin really wants to go observe these deathly explosions with no weaponry, no training, nothing. He just wants to go up this hill and die, I guess. I really don't get it. Then the movie definitely takes a step down. We're introduced to Tim Robbins' character, who is hiding in a basement, and the scene is so abrupt. He's holding up a gun saying, over here, and Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning run down into a cellar, and they're like, thank you for taking us in. And it was like they just planned to be there somehow or something. It's almost like they were like, hey, look, we know this scene is so random, but look, it's Tim Robbins. He's famous. So forget about the fact that this doesn't make any sense either. The movie drastically changes here, and there is a really good scene in this basement, very reminiscent of the dinosaurs in the kitchen scene in Jurassic Park, with this strange alien thing invading the area, looking for them. It's very suspenseful, and it's a very good scene. In fact, that leads me to my biggest issue with War of the Worlds. There are so many good scenes in this movie. There are a ton of great scenes, but sometimes it does feel like we are watching a bunch of great scenes that when viewed on their own are very good, but they just don't necessarily form a cohesive whole. There's definitely a struggle with tone in this movie, especially in its third act. That's where things get really messy. That's where things change a lot. All of a sudden, Robbie shows up perfectly unharmed somehow because... let's hug. It all feels so abrupt, and the final 20 to 30 minutes of this movie really skyrocket down in regards to quality that the first half had. But one of my favorite parts of this movie is when Tom Cruise makes a variation of the Macaulay Culkin Home Alone face. Guys, in the end, War of the Worlds is a suitably entertaining movie with a great first half and a last half that plummets in quality. It struggles with tone, it struggles with its characters sometimes, but overall, you can watch this movie for its good performances, its great direction, but the storytelling could have been a lot better. I'm gonna give War of the Worlds a B-. Guys, look forward to my review of Jack Reacher, Never Go Back, and if you haven't seen my review for The Last Samurai, I think that's one of the most underrated movies ever. So definitely check that out. You guys are the best. Thank you so much, as always, for watching, and if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.